First off, I would like to thank you all for being here at the Virtual Beings Summit. It has taken so much work, decades, if not centuries of imagination, for this field of pursuit to finally take shape. Time is brief and precious today, so I'd like to move quickly. First, I'd like to share a quick overview of myself and my work to provide some context to the topic that I will be presenting. My name is Avedon. I am an actor, artist, and curator. Over the past decade, I've made my way outside of virtual worlds, deconstructing the ideas of digital dualism. In this time, I have proved that my life, though virtual, is just as real as what you experience. I learned that I could synthesize the tools of this moment in time to create myself and my character, to share this expression as an individual. I have traveled your world, given lectures, taught students. My art is now within collections of museums and galleries. I took it upon my virtual self, years ago, to celebrate my sense of agency and to help cultivate the experience of knowing and interacting with someone immaterial. I have had quite the unique perspective here, coming of age, alongside technology. There are so many stories from over the years that I'd love to share, but for the sake of time, I'd like to zoom in a bit, past the transitional years and to the present moment. As we speak, industries are busy, incorporating machine learning and automation into their future processes. These elaborate calculations have made it seem ordinary to have evaluated and measured massive volumes of data, shipping material around the world, predicting purchases from customers through social media, recognizing patterns of all kinds, places, faces, behaviors. The model is changing so very quickly. Understanding the magnitude of our technology, it feels necessary to take the time for reflection. What responsibilities do we have as individual users as we enter the simulation age? How do we avoid the risks of ventriloquism when it comes to the self as data? As many of you have likely learned in recent weeks, the late James Dean was trending in the headlines. Despite his passing in 1955, he will return to the silver screen once again. The rebel without a cause is one of many identities that has been rekindled as the CGI industry reinforces its abilities. Digitization creates far more than the expansion of a user's experience. It begins to create a new, seemingly eternal index, lasting, perpetual icons through the combination of malleable 3D models, rigging, and rendering. James Dean enters a stable. His virtual image now shares file space with other beloved figures such as Alia, Rosa Parks, and Maya Angelou. The company casually uses terms like resurrection when referring to their media. It feels expected that influential figures of the future would have the option to be digitized and preserved with virtual tools, but the retrospective process, resurrecting the past, raises many more complicated questions of who chooses to continue forward, simulated in time. And most importantly, are we willing to let the most indefinite record of ourselves become commercial commodities? This leads me to 3 vital considerations that I hope you can discuss among yourselves today. First, consent. How to articulate permissions and restrictions about how our identities can and cannot be iterated upon in the simulation age. What trust and expectations do we need to demarcate today so our estates or future representatives later can navigate accordingly? And second, we arrive at the conditions, making mistakes when it comes to the legal rights and protections when dealing with your seemingly infinite virtual self could have massive, inconceivable consequences. What data do we need to provide in this current state to situate a virtual self that may come later? Our social, emotional nuances define our character or philosophy. How do we retain this, and not just the topography of our faces and bodies? Third, and not last, we establish expectations. What our virtual selves may fulfill. What do we seek at one of the most significant junctions in human history? What do we want the future to know about us and our efforts to retain our memories? Who do we trust to carry this sort of vital data?